Hey guys, this is Desm 101. I just wanted to give a quick little review of the Retro USB AVS. I just got the system a couple days ago, and I've been putting it through a couple tests, and I'm very pleased with it so far. It's an amazing little system. Basically, if you haven't heard about the AVS, it's a console that will run your NES and Famicom games from RetroUSB.com. It's basically a good HD option for running your old NES and Famicom games, and it boasts high compatibility, and it's not emulation, so it's using an FPGA, which is a field programmable gate array, I think, and basically that means that it's simulating the original hardware. So it's different than emulation in the way that it's more accurate to the original NES, and it performs really well if you're into accuracy. So a couple things about the design. It really looks a lot like the old NES. It comes with 4 controller inputs here that work fine, and if we turn it around, we can see on the back that we've got the expansion slot for Famicom accessories, and this is the power port. You can also provide updates and link to your computer for the scoreboard, and here's your HDMI output. And then if we open it up here, we can see it's got the 2 slots, one for the Famicom there at the front, and then in the back is the NES slot. So some people have asked if the games fit snug in there. They're not too bad. They fit well. You can feel them kind of hit the base nicely. Kind of clicks into place, or just sets in there nice, and then slides out easily without a lot of trouble. And then same thing with the carts. You can basically push them in. It takes a little bit of force, but overall it's not too bad. This flap is a little concerning. It's just a little flimsy, but it's solid, so I think as long as you're careful with it, it should be fine. Always package it well, or if you're traveling with it or anything. And then also the games can kind of move around in there a bit, so while they're seated in the spots, you should be careful not to move the console, or let anything happen to it. The build quality feels pretty nice, but it's still a little cheaper, I guess, but it works great, so that's what really counts. It looks just like the old NES. You can see the bottom there. I really like the color and everything. So just to give a little bit of information about why I got this, it's not for everyone. If you're fine with emulation, you probably don't need this. If if you have an original NES and you're using it with a CRT TV, then if you really want to go to the HD, then you might want to get this. But otherwise, a lot of people might just kind of wonder why you would get this instead of like the Retron 5. The Retron 5 is good and it runs a lot of games, but it's all emulation, and it's not very accurate to the original systems. It's a good option if you don't want to spend as much money, but this is the best bang for my buck, in my opinion. And it comes with an options menu. It's cheaper than the RGB mod top loader NES, which I have one of those also, but it only does the coax output, the RF, which looks really bad on TVs. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the menu and talk a little bit more about. So the first time you boot up the AVS, you're gonna see this screen, and basically this is the menu options that you're given. Right away you can go ahead and start the cart there. Or you can go to scoreboard, video options, input options, Game Genie cheat codes. So we'll just go ahead and start with the video options. So here you can choose what region, the pixel aspect ratio, so you can go wide or narrow to set it wherever you prefer. You can do the vertical border as well. You might see some extra garbage on the top and bottom of the screen depending on how much the developers used. Turn on and off scan lines and also their depth. So that's pretty handy if you like scan lines. I usually leave it off. You can also hide the left side, again more of that kind of leftover pixel garbage that shows up. It's nice to have this option, but some games like Iron Sword I was playing yesterday and it cut off some of the text at the bottom. Not a big deal, but it was there. Extra sprites, you can give it the ability to run more sprites on screen at once. I've been testing it out, leaving it on. It seems to work pretty good. I haven't really experienced anything that is bad about it. EXP volume is basically external sound chips like in other games, mostly Famicom games. The first one that comes to mind is Castlevania 3. Akumajo, Dracula 3, or whatever it's called. But there's a few other ones that use an extra sound chip, so you can actually set the volume here. It's like a mixer. You can basically crank it up if you want to hear more of the custom chip, or pull it back. And then here is an added feature. If you update to the newest version of the firmware, you can actually set the palette. So this FCEUX seems to be the best, closest to the original palette. But they give you a few more. They have the original that they use on the AVS, unsaturated version 6. So it's pretty neat to play with this. And then basically you can come here in the middle of gameplay and change it. But if you go back, the game will reset. So it doesn't save the game state, or it doesn't retain the state of the game. In the input options, we can choose with the menu, how we access the menu here, and toggling on and off the cheats. I don't know if you can see that, but menu buttons are select plus A and B. Cheat toggle is start plus A and B at the same time. Expansion, emulation. These other menu options like turbo, and you can also test your 4-player controllers down there, kind of to see. Yeah, you see the input there is actually moving on the controller on the left when I'm pressing. And then also the expansion, I don't really understand what that is. I think for other accessories you can test them out. I don't know. I would have to read more about exactly what you need to use that for. The scoreboard here, I haven't actually used it yet. You can upload your scores online. Basically, you leave the game in the console and then plug it into your computer using the power, which basically is just a normal USB cable. And you run the scoreboard software, and it'll upload the data from the game. It verifies that you're not cheating and pushes it to update. Last, we'll just check out cheat codes before we see the game. Right now Mario 3 is in there. It doesn't seem to recognize the game. Usually here we would see predefined codes that they input in there. This is the Japanese version of Super Mario Bros. 3, so I'm guessing it doesn't have, for whatever reason, it doesn't have cheat codes in there yet. So, but anyway, you can add your own, or I'll have predefined ones you can just slap in there, and you can toggle them on and off while you're in the game. Oh, and also the input options let me change the auto boot, so it runs like a normal NES. When you turn it on, you don't have to come to this menu first, which I prefer. I like it better that way. So we'll start the game, and it's running fine. Super Mario Bros. 3. And you can't see on the camera, but the picture looks amazing. There is really great definition. and I can also confirm that there's almost no lag at all on the controller input. Like as soon as I'm pressing the button, I don't know if you can see it, but that's pretty close. But if you want to see a more detailed video with actual capture from the device, I'll link you to one that I recorded in the past 2 days. So one of the things that's great is the ability to update the firmware. When I got it out of the box, I tried Gradius 2 in there and it didn't work, so I went online and found an update to the firmware on their website, and then I used the USB cable to update it, and it works great now. So I also have a video of that, of Gradius 2. So yeah, basically I think this is a great option for playing your NES library.